All right, let's clap it up. Hey, shalom, Israel. IHK, Minnesota. I want to say shalom. Yahweh Shema Shabbat Tham to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar. Alatham Bashima, shout out all the sisters. Once again, IHK, Minnesota with the Brotherhood class. Today's title is Two Are Better Than One. If you don't understand what that means, we are going to get into that pretty shortly, all right? And of course, if anybody got questions or concerns, you can type it in the chat. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, okay? For right now, we're actually trying to go live on other platforms. We'll get back to you shortly on that within a week or so. And also, too, once again, this is a very important class. Share the content and make sure that you pay your tithes if you are watching the ISUPK, all right? Yes, these classes are very much free, but it is a law to pay your tithes. We talk about it every single class when we get into the security announcements. If you're not paying your tithes, you are sinning. If you got $1, take a penny out of that and send it up to the school. It's that serious, okay? So today's topic is very important. I would advise every Black, Hispanic, Native American person who watches these classes, share them. Share it to your family member, to your friends. Tag as many people as you can, and don't give a damn who doesn't watch it or doesn't like it. At least you show them something that they should be watching instead of all the nonsense that's on the internet and on TV. All right. So of course, the Brotherhood class is very important. This is the class where we discuss many issues within the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. Not also is this a Brotherhood class, but it's also a sisterhood class as well. Of course, taught by men, because men are able to dissect every single problem amongst men and women that's going on in the nation. If you need counseling, you can contact your camp leader or the person over that state that you are in, whether you are in Minnesota, Chicago, Detroit, Arizona, California, et cetera, okay? Let's get into it, man. First things first, can we get Genesis 13 and 1, please? Chapter 13, verse 1. As everybody has been watching the news as of lately, so many controversial things have been going on in the earth. We got, the baby who, he's getting a lot of backlash because of the things that he said at his Rolling Loud concert about the gay community and HIV and AIDS. He said a lot of things that were sensitive to people who are dealing with that or who are in the gay community, right? But of course, he pulled a Nick Cannon. When things got hot and things hit the fan, when he was being stripped of his concerts and money and things of that sort, he apologized to those that he offended, all right? But the thing is, what the baby has said wasn't necessarily, he wasn't wise based on what he said. I'll just say that. He wasn't wise based on everything that he said necessarily, but one thing that he did say that, was very important is that, the whole gay community thing, that thing is a problem for Black and Hispanic people. It's very much a problem. Once again, this is whole thing about, how they have cancel culture, right? Everyone knows that is, right? Cancel culture, how everybody's trying to get canceled for what they say, what they do. There's a whole thing about people trying to normalize everything. Remember I was just talking about how someone said normalize, being on racist people?
Right.
You feel me? But not saying that we condone that. You feel me? At the same time, the gay community has normalized being in that field, in that way of life and lifestyle. Just years ago, it was not acceptable. The reason why it's very much acceptable today, look in the world that we live in. Everything is acceptable these days that are wrong, that are backwards.
Right.
And we are here today to show Black and Hispanic people what is the right thing that you should do and how you should live your life. And there's going to be a lot of naysayers that are going to say, who the hell are you to tell me how I should live my life? Well, the words that we are going to get into, the Bible that we are going to get into, the Most High ordained his priests to tell you and judge your life according to what he said, not how we feel, what we think. Am I right?
Right.
So, what else is going on in the earth before we get into Genesis? What else has been on the news that's been
All
trending?
this Olympic stuff.
Mm.
You know, all this Olympic, people bowing out in the Olympics, certain things of the Olympics being exposed. Um, Japan, how they got the cardboard beds before the Olympics, so the people can't have sex before the Olympic event.
I seen that. That was very interesting. Yeah.
Right. And also too, stuff like the Olympics sports breaks brotherhood.
It does.
Because it makes everybody selfish.
It makes everybody selfish. Yes.
And Michael Jordan is one of the top epitomes of the selfishness that the sports stuff like that and entertainment produces.
Right. It's sad. That brother has no love for his people.
That's a poster boy. He's a poster boy for that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves Michael Jordan except for the people that have met him personally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a nasty dude.
Yeah. Very vile. Very disgusting.
He be at Churchill Downs all the time. The black people that work at Churchill Downs, they hate Michael Jordan.
I ain't surprised.
They can't stand it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, you got a lot of people like the brother said, Sarab. You got a lot of selfish people in that industry. You see what I'm saying? Like, I even heard a few people in the industry speak against Simone Biles, Naomi Osaka. Say it again, go ahead.
Simone Biles quit because she couldn't perform like how she was.
Right.
They had announced that she had ADHD.
But I mean that's not really an excuse. I mean, really anything. And the reason why she quit was because of all the trauma.
Right.
All the trauma that she went through. She had mentioned she was molested. I'm sure every one of them had been touched.
Everyone's been molested.
See what I'm saying?
They had announced that she's been molested.
Who was the other one? Gabrielle Douglas.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
She was molested, and some of her teammates were molested as well by the same man. Go ahead.
You got to think all of them was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I said all of them. I haven't heard anything about Naomi Osaka though, personally.
Right.
I haven't heard nothing about her personally.
Right.
But I mean, if it did happen to her, I wouldn't be surprised. If it did not, most I'm Christ.
It's like a custom.
It is.
It was a custom all the way back to Greece.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they want them naked.
Mm-hmm.
Naked so the high up elites can look down upon them and their nakedness, and decide which ones they want to go to bed with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to think, look at them billionaires and all of that. They're set up high in the stands, and they looking down, at all this nakedness running around, and these physical specimens, stuff like that. They look at them like, just like they looked at them in Athens, in ancient Athens and all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like sex objects.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like just something to get off on.
Right.
And it was something that you just said. So as far as like pretty much the Olympics is sex trafficking. If you ask me, that's exactly how I see it. I don't see it no different.
Right.
Because I mean, if you look at what sex trafficking really is, it's more than just selling females and males. You gotta look at the entire thing. Like you gotta look at every aspect of sex trafficking and look at the sports.
Right.
Those men are being sex trafficked as well.
Yeah.
They are being sold. Like when they say, this brother just made he signed a $40 million deal with a basketball team. You have just been sold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have been sold to another team to the next team.
Right.
Another man for another man. Go ahead.
Right. It's like in slavery.
The slavery, yeah.
Bought, sold, and traded in slavery.
There you go. Yes, yeah. That's why they always use those terms. Oh, this, he just traded to the Knicks from this, basketball team, whatever. You know what I mean? Like you see it every single day.
Right. And they have the power at the stroke of a pen to wipe your life out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At the stroke of a damn pen just to wipe your life.
That's
totally
right.
Out.
That's right.
People be thinking we want like athletes and all of that to be black leaders. How the hell can they lead you, when someone can easily just strike their life out, you know what I'm saying? And they're not gonna, the way that they control them is because they don't want to go to be broke.
Right.
They don't want. They're not going to suffer being broke and going to jail. They're not. So you can't look at them as a black leader. They don't want to do that. And then see what happened to Bill Cosby. Just for saying something. You know what I'm saying? Just for wanting to buy Massa's house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they wiped his life out. They didn't care about what he did with them damn women and all of that. They were all doing it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They were doing it in a clique. It wasn't that he was doing Iceland. Think about it. He had a mansion with all of these women. It's gonna be some dudes there. Just like if you when you was a teenager, you threw a party. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna just only have women there. You be the only damn man. Right. You know what I'm saying? You gonna invite your partners and all of them over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, it's the same way in Hollywood. They invite all of his top friends over. You know what I'm saying? All of his top, actors and all of them is gonna be at that party too. And they all own the same stuff.
They all on the same page.
Yeah, they all on that. That's one of the ways they control them. So if they step out of line, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, you know what? They could have been lying on Bill Cosby.
They could have.
You know what I'm saying? They could have been lying on him because they know that the masses is not gonna. The masses is only gonna go on the, on what he's accused of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's automatically gonna be real without no investigation. Just like with O.J. Simpson, people think that O.J. Then nobody say, did he kill Nicole? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and do the math. How you gonna chop one person's head off and the other one just stand there? That don't make any sense. Nobody thinking like that. They just killed a white woman. You know what I'm saying? And they just got the power to spend. That's why we can't look at athletes and all of them, as being and entertainers as being anything in leadership.
Right.
What they should be doing is just supporting us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They can't lead themselves. They can't pop up as the leader. They should support the leaders, not try to be it themselves. And that's one thing that other races understand. Like, you don't see Yao Ming becoming the damn president of China or something like that. Thinking you know what I'm saying? He's the top dude in China and all that. No, they become servants of their people once they get rich. Just like Manny Pacquiao. As soon as he got the millions of dollars, first thing he did was start providing houses for his people in the Philippines.
Yeah, and that's how you do it. Like, it doesn't, that's really a good point. How do you become, this big star, but you don't give back to your own community?
Right.
That, like for years and years, we keep hearing that black and Hispanic people in the entertainment game, like they support their people. How's that possible when we're still suffering?
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, as of this year, Flint still don't got the best clean water.
Right.
And it's been how many years? It's been about 5, 6 years.
Yeah, I think 5, 6, 7.
5, 6, 7 years since that whole crisis happened against them. And still, we still talking about trying to support Africa. Africa is fine.
Oh yeah.
Africa will be just fine.
They more than fine.
They are filthy rich. And you know what? I was on TikTok too, not so long ago. And this African dude had got on TikTok and was saying that, when you send your money over to Africa, it's a scam.
Yeah.
He said that there are some slums, but it's not as bad as you think it is. But he said for the most part, Africa is thriving.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn. And I got to find this video because I meant to save the video. And then there was another video of an African making a joke talking about how they're living rich and good over there. And I was like, good night. Right. I said, good night. I mean, the video is probably gone by now. It's probably gone by now because that's the truth. Go ahead.
So I wonder why Africans come over here and get jobs and get houses and stuff and send their money that they make over here and send it to their family over there so that they poor and broke and stuff.
I mean, they are greedy bastards.
They spend their hour with the beast also, just like all these other nations.
There you go.
And they're getting rich off of it.
Right.
You got cities and stuff in Africa, which places we think is so poor, Vietnam and Thailand and all those places is thriving.
They are.
And they got stuff that a lot of times they got better stuff in the big cities here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
They becoming ahead of the curve. They're getting stuff now, you know what I'm saying, that we will get years after them.
Yeah.
And Africa is getting rich because the Chinese interest over there in Africa, the Chinese are shoveling money because they understand the concept that we don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Africans understand that when somebody else do business in your land, you can tax them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You can tax them. They taxing them Chinese for them Chinese, the Chinese interest that is in Africa, and they get money from America too, because America and China are actually in competition for African support.
Yes.
Because the Chinese need that trailway to be able to lead them to America to attack it.
Right.
And America needs the same ground to get to China. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the top things that they're actually warring over, and China's winning. You know what I'm saying? It's geographic warfare, you know? And by result of that, the Africans is getting rich from both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Of
and
course.
Russia, because Russia is in with China. So they in on the deal too. They shoveling money in too.
Yeah. I mean, it's really a whole system. Like I keep thinking about Psalms 83. How not only are they just confederate against us as far as the Israelites, but they all work with each other in everything. They work. I mean, they go to war together. They scheme and they rob and they do a lot together. But it's all against us. If you really look at it, how is it that everybody's working with each other, but no one's working with us? I'm like we're out the picture. Meaning we are the ones that's doing horrible as a nation, but everybody else is doing better than us.
Right.
That should let you know that there's an issue, there's a problem.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And actually that brings me to the topic, because the story that we are going to get into with Abraham and Lot, this is the spirit that we should have today amongst each other. Because what Abraham and Lot have as far as a relationship is what these other nations have with each other. Right? And I'll get into what that means a little bit later in the segment. You want to say something?
So you got a confederacy.
Here you go, confederacy. That's it. A union.
You know, right. You know, it was a confederacy of, even though they don't like each other, but they understand they have a common enemy. Mm-hmm. And that common enemy is always us. You ever look at a United Nations sentence, when they get the United Nations and all of that, and you see all these representatives of these different countries,
right?
All these different African countries, they write on the same board too. They up there with all of them.
Yeah.
The Arabs with they come in with robes on, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
The funny thing about it, we be running around thinking in order to do business, we got to dress like a devil, but they doing business wearing their own traditional apparel. Their own country, representing their own country.
Or probably sometimes in their draws too.
Right.
Behind the computer, just going in, just sitting back.
Yeah, they customs to be naked. They sit up on the
damn. There you go.
They sit up
hey.
One of the damn. They go mud and doodle on them, getting the seats right there.
Kyle, no, for real, like these people are just doing the bare minimum. Like, I mean, probably just doing nothing, just sitting there in the bed, and they are just getting filthy rich. And business has always been a thing, even in the Bible. Like Daniel used to do business with the heathens. Which heathens was that? That Daniel used to do business with.
Oh, he was in two heathen empires. Daniel would be an old man. He's seen the transition between the Babylonians. He was a boy with the Babylonians. He was only 15 when Babylon sacked Jerusalem and all of that.
Right.
He lived through two heathen empires. He was dealing with the Babylonians, and they were in transition Medo-Persia.
Because he was doing like trading or something like that, right?
Well, Daniel was a top prince and advisor. He was in the same responsibility as Joseph was.
I was just gonna say that
Yeah. He had the same, you know what I'm saying? He was, to be honest with you, he was second in command over the whole thing. He was over all the princes, all of that,
Daniel was a brother from the slums who was very intelligent.
Right.
Very intelligent. Because it takes in order to be second in command like that, or just to be in a high position like that, the Lord got to be with you, man. And that says a lot about you, just your character development and your work ethic. And Daniel was no dummy at all. No. And Joseph was very smart too.
Right.
And Joseph was actually like what you would consider to be a businessman as well.
Right. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And he was running things.
Real good with business.
He absolutely was. Yes. Yeah. And he was doing business with the Egyptians, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and see, the thing about it, we can learn things, you know, from the way Joseph, how wisely he moved.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying, among the Egyptians and everything. It's funny how, a lot of people read the story of Joseph, but they don't see Joseph's governance skills. They don't really see that for real. You know, they'll talk about, yeah, he was, second with Pharaoh and God blessed him and everything. All true, but
right.
We gotta incorporate the same type of mindset that Joseph had when he was governing the affairs. You know what I'm saying? So when people say that the first, the so-called first black president in America was a black man, I can kind of believe it in a sense because Joseph made the United States of Egypt.
Pretty much. There you go.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He united all of them up under Pharaoh.
Right.
So somebody probably did that same thing here.
Right.
And made, just like, everything repeats itself.
It does, yeah.
And most likely with those type of governance skills, it was a black man. You know what I'm saying? Chicago was founded by a black man.
That's right.
A Haitian brother.
That's right, yeah. I forget his name.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is.
Yeah, I forget his name, yeah. Yeah, no, that shocked me some years ago when I found that out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I heard some brothers in Chicago breaking that down. I was like, damn, good night. I never knew. I never recalled. Right. I mean, you're so used to hearing Esau being the creator of everything that you would think of just an Edomite. Right. You feel me? But nah, they
need us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
way
absolutely.
More than we need them. We don't need them at all.
Absolutely. And you know what? I was just thinking about something too. Like we are going to get into it, but I want to make this point. Like with the whole Donald Trump's whole administration was predominantly black, right?
Right.
And they got him to be on top.
Right.
And then at the end he shitted on them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He shitted on them once he got on top.
Yeah, we seen that coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro, laying hands on him and praying and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Crying and like good.
Right.
Soft.
And the Bible says, lay hands on no man hastily.
Yes, that's right.
Of his sin.
Yes.
Evil as Donald Trump was, you know what I'm saying? They sinned, they laid their hands upon them, and they got shot for his damn sin.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
And matter of fact, when he became president, for the first 5 months of him being a president, he signed multiple executive orders, and those executive orders was getting black and Hispanic people killed.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And y'all remember when he was like Donald Trump, he was like keep doing. He was like, "Just keep doing what you're doing, but be 10 times more doing what you're doing." Meaning, like, kill them twice as more, 10 times more, do more stop and frisk, and more break-ins, and it's just crazy, man. Like this devil, and the devil had the nerve to protect the police too when they don't need protection.
Right.
We need the protection. It's that Blue Lives Matter bill.
Yeah.
That it can get you up to close to 5 years in jail.
Right.
And stuff like that. You know what I mean? If you try to assault or if you try to resist arrest, all types of stuff, man.
Right. And this is also, how they always complaining about the crime.
Yeah.
Now, think about this. This is go to show you how much they need us.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta have you doing crime. They got to. Just imagine the blow that would be in their, in their empire if we were separate with no crime.
They would go insane.
Yes, they would lose their damn minds, and they would be so angry that they would start blowing each other away. I was just
going to say that. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yes, I was just going to say that it will get so bad that they'll start killing each other.
Right. Imagine this. Imagine the golden day right here of when they try to push drugs into the neighborhood. And imagine coming out your house one day and you just see a big damn pile of drugs at the corner.
Yeah.
And nobody touching it.
It's
you
like,
know what I'm saying?
It's like,
right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looks at the white man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now imagine what they will have to do. They ain't trying to let all their drugs go to waste.
Yeah.
They'll come back, get the drugs, and they won't have no choice but to take it to their own neighborhoods, sell it to them, and murk each other off over.
There you go, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. Somebody, when the niggas is gone, somebody got to be the niggas.
Man, somebody.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's why poor whites love having us here. All the, you know what I'm saying, the Irish and all of them, which they're not poor whites no more.
Not right now.
They love having us here because if we weren't here, they would never have come out of the Al Capone type of era.
Yes.
You know, the what was it, Whitey Bulger era. They would have never came out of that. They would be stuck at the bottom, you know what I'm saying, just like we are right now, still murking each other. They would still be doing it right now to this day.
Hey, you better believe it.
Right, living like the south side of Chicago in the 20s.
Right.
They would be living like that right to this day.
Right.
If it wasn't for us.
I mean, it's crazy, man. Like, it really takes, it takes classes like this. It takes a lot of study and, what's the word, observation. It takes a lot of analyzing what's really going on around you. That's why we say, once again, like, if you are smoking anything, if you are getting high off of anything, you are very much distracted and you are asleep. You know how they say in the world, stay woke? Right. A lot of people that say stay woke, they are very much asleep.
Right.
Because they are still doing everything that they are not supposed to do.
Right.
So if you don't know, smoking is a sin. No matter what the hell you're smoking. Okay? Understand that, you know, being a whore, being a part of the, you know, the LGBT, A, B through C community, whatever the hell it's called. I could never get that down pat. And I don't give a damn either. I just don't. You see what I'm saying? Like, go ahead.
You know what I feel about that? The whatever community, we ain't supposed to be getting it because we ain't supposed to be in it.
Man, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, you right. Hey, give her a hand. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Because otherwise, I'm in it, and I'm not in that. Yeah, I'm very, you know, I'm very straight.
We are supposed to be getting them out of it, though.
Absolutely, yes. You know what I mean? And there's definitely a way. Like, I remember General Hyman spoke about, like, when it comes to dealing with people in the world, no matter what they do, as far as a sin, you know, like you can like you can have a conversation with a drug addict, you can have a conversation with a person that's gay. But what you want to try to do is try to remove them from that lifestyle by introducing the truth to them. Yeah. And you ain't even got to pull scriptures.
They don't know that they're sick.
Say it again.
They don't know that they're sick.
Yeah, there you go. A lot of people don't know that they have a disease until you show them. And a lot of times you ain't got to get into the Bible and things of that sort. You can just, you know, there's a way that you are seasoned with your words. You feel me? You know what I mean? Like I remember having a conversation with a homosexual male and a female at two different times, and having a conversation with a having a conversation with a weed head. And I remember, you know, they, you know, these people that I ran into as on the job. And I remember just, you know, finding out certain things about them, details and blah, 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 because people talk around the job. And I remember just, you know, someone asked me questions like, man, like, something different about you. Like, you know, what do you do? I was like, you know, oh, you know, I don't do this, I don't do that, blah, blah, blah. They asked me questions, why? So that was my opportunity to teach them the Bible without giving them the Bible, if that makes sense. Like, you know, without pulling out the Bible. And, you know, they views kind of, you know, was almost there. Like, they was like, you know, that makes sense. And what you say, you have to make it to where it's undeniable. Right. You have to make it to where it's undeniable. Because, I mean, like, my thing is, though, right? You know, a lot of people say, you know, you should not care if someone is, you know, different sexuality than you. It's not really necessary. Okay, like, if you are a heathen, I can give 2Fs. Okay, I can care less, right? But my own people, that's the issue. Because the more of those type of people there is, the more child molester there will be, the more HIV and AIDS there will be, and more hell is going to happen. You see what I'm saying? That's the issue for me. And you know what I mean? It's not because I hate them. See what I'm saying? It's just a lifestyle that I hate. Because it's not good for our nation. That does not benefit our nation. Now, if homosexuality did benefit the nation and it was lawful, I can't be mad about it. Why? Because the Lord said it was okay. But is it okay? It's not okay. Everything about it is wrong, but they're trying to normalize something that is incorrect. You see what I'm saying? And you know, it's funny, even a lot of homosexuals know. That's why they get high. I'll give you an example. I was talking to I was at this warehouse job, and I believe this brother's name is Michael. He's like black and Mexican. and I was working at a temp agency job pretty much, and we have to have partners stuff like that. I really didn't want to be this guy's partner, but the boss happened to say, "Hey, you and you partners, y'all figure out who collects data and who moves the crates and stuff. You can move the crates, I'll collect the data. All right." You do the work. I got the easy part, okay? But long story short, we was talking and stuff like that. He had mentioned that he's only here to he was doing like a rehab thing, and he has to get a slavery. And I was like, rehab? I was like, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? He was like, I just turned 19. And I was like, what are you in rehab for? And he was like, for heroin. I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, how old are you? He's like, yeah, I'm 19, and heroin and stuff like that. And then he was like I'm gay and things of that sort, and like he was just pretty much telling me his whole life story. He was telling me how the gay community is. He was like, I don't have to pay for nothing. I always have a hotel room. I'm always getting picked up, and I always got money in my pocket. I'm always getting fed. I'm like, good night. And I'm just like, that's a horrible lifestyle.
Yeah. And
he always got drugs. He never has to buy anything. And there are grown men hooking up with this boy.
Yeah.
And when I seen him, I'm like, man, like you are a child. You see what I'm saying? Like you are living a disgusting lifestyle. No wonder you get high. You see what I'm saying? No wonder. I'm sure something happened to you tragically, but this UPK can change that.
Right.
And that's one thing he didn't understand. It was sad, man. It was sad to hear that story. Go ahead.
Yeah. And there's another thing too, being the fact that he's that young.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times nowadays, a lot of them don't even get molested. It just be society molesting them.
Mm-hmm.
For real. But society promotes homosexuality, so the way this enters into a child's mind, especially a black child's mind, like if I want to be loved, I got to be that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I want to be loved in society, I got to be that.
Right.
And that's the way that they think. That's you know what I'm saying? That's what they call rape of the mind.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, psychological molestation, you know what I'm saying? Is just as bad as the physical molestation.
Absolutely. And matter of fact, you're man, that's right. That's right. I'm glad you said that, right? And I'll tell you why. Because like I got a few family members who are gay and things of that sort. And people have asked, like, has anything ever happened to you when you were a child? And a lot of them be like, God's honest truth, no. And I'm just like, because I know most people who are molested, they become what their molester is,
right,
which is a homosexual or, gay, so to speak. But the fact that no one has been touched is just the influence of a society. It lets you know that that's strong like a drug.
Right.
For example, Christianity. All those things is strong. It's the influence. That's why I think a lot of times that's why Esau is pushing what he's pushing on Black and Hispanic people today. Like Boosie just came out and said he's talking about Lil Nas X. How it's disgusting what he's doing, and if he was to ever see him, he would beat him and drag his ass off the stage or something like that, right? I was like, good night. But he also said that he feels like Esau is pushing this on predominantly just Black people. And I'm like, he's right. And then, watching the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne is like, I don't see it like that. I think it's just a choice that people made. And I'm just like, that Negro is gay himself.
Right, yeah. Right.
He has such an emasculating spirit.
Right.
It's just very disgusting. Like, sometimes I regret watching that shit. So, like, go ahead.
I remember being in, like, middle school.
Yeah.
And you got the partners around and everything, right?
So like, can somebody turn that
and everybody want to talk about who done had something.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
And if you ain't had none, you feel out of place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You feel like, you're gonna feel, well, I'm gonna lie about it. Well, I'm gonna give you something. You know what to do.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? But think about it.
No, that's funny though, because I remember I used to be bullied about the shit, and I was like, I got some. From who? Hey, you don't know. She in a different school. she in a different school. everybody used to always say that, like, yeah, yeah, she in a different school, she in my neighborhood or whatever.
Right.
But after a while, I just stopped caring. And then family used to always tell me, like, stop saying that. Like, stop telling people that you never got none. I'm like, look, I'm not a goddamn shame about it, And I noticed that I was a little different because I'm like, I don't like, trying to say and do what everybody else is doing in school. I just thought it was stupid. So yeah, after a while, I was like, look, nah, what about it?
So now the peer pressure and all that stuff's gonna put around now to where they're gonna be looking at a little dude if he ain't had no rod and everything, like he's weird and stuff.
Oh my
They're
God.
doing it like that now.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Or a little girl, she ain't had no box. You know what I'm saying? And you looking at her like she's something weird. So what is the peer pressure and everything gonna do to her and him?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean it's very sad. I mean, really now also too, coming up in high school, like coming to high school and going into college a little bit for like a year or so. What I've noticed too is that it's this thing called bodies. Like how many bodies you got, right?
Right.
Meaning like how many people have you laid down with, how many people have you had sex with, and damn, this is strong. It's like it. The higher that you say the number, a lot of people kind of look down on it, like like you're a slut, you're a whore. See what I'm saying? Right. You know what I mean? Like as far as the man and the woman. And I was like, that's kind of weird because in middle school, you get praised for that,
right,
for how many bodies you had. And I'm saying, this is like in middle school, we like 10, 11, 12, and I'm like, you a child. It's children having sex with each other.
Right.
Yeah, like now y'all are still children.
Right.
What the hell are you thinking about sex? And it makes you think like what's really going on in the household. All right, so yeah. But anyway, so like I know we ran on the topic. My bad.
The peers, they do a whole lot too.
Yeah.
I first got to watch you let the kids be around.
Yeah. Everybody in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, 9 times out of 10, you are sexualized at an early age.
Right.
You know what a lot of stuff is.
Right. I just imagine how it is now from the time when things was bad when I was a kid.
Yeah, look, I remember being 5 and 4 and knowing what everything was.
Right.
Found my uncle's stash of naked magazines and hearing noises from family members. I knew what everything was. And I should have. I shouldn't have known that at such a young age. My mind should have been more with the kid. Kid stuff like it was. But like some people just don't hide things; they just let it all out.
Right.
See, which is sad, coming up in the Black community because I mean, at a young age, you know what everything is. Like you're not stupid to it. See what I'm saying? Go ahead.
It's funny because it just brought back a memory when I was like 10 years old. My mom got to talk to me about sex, like like how you're supposed to grow up and everything, and your parents sit you down and talk to you about the birds and the bees.
Yeah, birds and the bees. Yeah.
I was laughing because I do every damn thing.
Yeah, I did so. Yeah,
she was shocked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it was her and her boyfriend at the time. You know what I'm saying? They was shocked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like no, it's sad. Like it's not funny, but it's sad because I mean it can turn into a different way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Some people that are sexualized, start doing the things that they see and hear at an early age, and it can fall into wicked things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Kids touching other kids when they're not supposed to, and just all type of inappropriate things, man. And this is why, once again, our households have to change. And this is that's one out of many problems that I mentioned earlier in the class that we have to talk about. See what I'm saying? I remember I was just talking to a brother. He was like, sometimes it gets uncomfortable talking about those topics because thinking of what possibly happened to brothers and sisters. I'm like, it's tough, but it has to be talked to in order to give the people, I want to say, closure in a sense. Yeah, I mean, the truth and comfort them.
Right.
Yeah. Closure in a sense because I mean, a lot of people have really been affected, and everybody don't come back from that. Just like a lot of people don't come back from drugs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's amazing when someone bounce back from something that happened to them traumatically. Right. But everybody's not as strong as everybody else sometimes.
Yeah.
Boy.
And it's funny because it's crazy because this is how it's going to show you how nobody compassion on black people,
There you
especially not black men.
There you go.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. It's a hard topic sometimes
Right.
to talk to brothers and sisters. Like I remember counseling a few brothers and sisters, and just to listen to them cry over the phone. That's heartbreaking.
Right.
That make you want to cry. See what I'm saying? Just hearing how hurt and the pain that they went through. That's sad,
Yeah.
man. But you got to go through it. You gotta, listen. You gotta be there for Black and Hispanic people. And that's one thing that we lack in our communities is compassion for each other. What's the other one? It's empathy, right?
Right.
Empathy, not sympathy. I always get those mixed up.
They pretty much the same kind of same.
It is very similar, but I know there's separate definitions. But yeah,
Right.
there's similarities to it.
Right.
But yeah, that's one thing that we do not have for each other. That's why we sell drugs to each other. That's why we hurt each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When a brother sleeps with another man's wife, you have hurt that brother.
Right.
When a woman is sexualizing herself, she's hurting herself.
Right.
See what I'm saying? When you decide to emasculate yourself and bring yourself low and have no moral standard, you are hurting yourself. Every time you smoke, every time you like to, get tore up, you see what I'm saying? You are hurting yourself. And that's what you got to realize. And one thing that we don't realize that we do is we capitalize off of our trauma.
Right.
We capitalize off of our, predators. See what I'm saying? If you are gay and you are molested, you are capitalizing off of what happened to you. Because one thing can happen, you can get molested and not be what that molester wanted you to be, if that makes sense.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And it is a fight because they say when you do the psychology of rape and molestation, there's a chemical imbalance that happens in your mind. In your head. That change that it's like the screws ain't all the way tight. It's like something happens to you mentally. Right. You feel me? Go ahead.
Right, and that's what the white man purposely did that to us.
Yeah.
That was a
breaking the buck.
Right, buck breaking, and they have to cause trauma, and it's funny because that same trauma is what they use when they want to create assassins and stuff like that. Assassins, sex slaves, the mind control people that doing stuff like that. That's how they break them. They psychologically break them, and it causes like this traumatic shut off.
Yes.
And then they become like robots.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They become robotic. Like you want to make a killer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A dude that kills with no remorse. You know what I'm saying? You shock him with trauma. First, like what they'll do, they'll treat them real nice while they, growing up and everything. Then the same person that treated them so nice will do something like rape them and beat the hell out of them.
Yes. Yep.
So now they call it this shock, this crazy shock.
Right.
This person that treated me so, you know what I'm saying? And that's what happens to a lot of black children. The same person that's supposed to love you knocks the piss out of you and beats the hell out of you and talk to you like, that it causes you to get psychologically messed up.
Yes, it absolutely does. When I tell you, like sometimes, like when I get on social media or like TikTok, like TikTok just shows me how evil things are in the world. Like I'm talking about, there are Black and Hispanic people who just tell all their business on there, and I mean it's a time and place for everything, but not necessarily social media. Especially when you're talking about your trauma, like it's this one story of a sister. She had told me how she had got mistreated by her mother. She had got sexually violated, abused by one of her mom's boyfriends. Her mother didn't believe her. You know how that story goes.
Right.
And just seeing her physical appearance, just looking at her, she looks like she's been through hell because how she was carrying herself, the way she was wearing her hair. She's gay now and all these weird piercings and tattoos, and she just looked destroyed. Right. Her spirit was broken.
Right.
And it's sad, man. Like once again, like this is why the IHBK is here.
Right.
And like a lot of times too, we have to fight the things that we are. The things that happen to us. And a lot of people don't realize that based on how you react or how you live your life, with people around you, relationships. I'm talking about a relationship between a man and a woman, or a relationship with like family or friends. All that stuff can come out. And a lot of people are broken, man. And that's why, once again, the UPK, we fix each other. This is the place where you can get fixed and not have to get high. See what I'm saying? Because that weed is not going to help you. That bottle is not going to help you. You can do all the disgusting things that you want to try to erase your trauma. It's not going to go. That's not going to take it away. But when you come in here and get real counseling and figure out steps on really how to improve your life, that's what's going to help you. But you still can't get high. You still can't do all those, things that you think that you love and desire. You're only doing it to try to get rid of pain, but you're still hurting yourself even more.
Right.
You feel me? So let's go ahead and get this, because it's already 8:25. Can we get Genesis chapter 13, verse 1?
Genesis chapter 13 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him, into the south.
Okay. So we have Abraham, Abram, who was Abraham, went up out of Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. So they went to the certain area. They took all their belongings, and they was heading towards the south to move. All right, because if you read the previous chapter, it was something that happened to where they had to move. Lot, the family, all of them had to move. Okay, keep going.
Verse 2. And Abraham was very rich in cattle and in silver and in gold.
Boy, that's where your money was. That's where your what's it called? Your revenue. I was gonna say revenue.
Right.
Your revenue. You see what I'm saying? Your economy. Like think about all the people who were rich in cattle. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Job, King Solomon. I mean, a lot of the prophets. See what I'm saying? They were rich in cattle because cattle is pretty much your animals and things of that sort.
Right.
And if you had that, if you had so many and they was producing, I mean, you had money.
Right.
You had income to feed your family.
Right.
Things of that sort. And that's where the money was. And that's called being a husbandman when you till the land, when you are a farmer.
Right.
Husbandman just means that you are a farmer, so to speak.
Right.
All right. I just think husbandman is like, you're a man that's a husband.
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
Bro, you want to say something?
Yeah, like when you look at the definition of husband.
Yeah. It's a biblical term.
Ruler, master.
There you go, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and then this is because you got all of these people like the whole Kevin Samuels type of people that think that they're high value men because they make such and such money, but they can learn some principles behind Abraham because remember the scripture when it said Abraham taught his trained servants had his trained servants defending his cattle and everything, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
So what the hell do these type of dudes have to defend their, fortunes and everything? They ain't got nobody to defend their fortunes.
And that's very true.
Right out.
And that's very true. Like this is a true definition of inheritance.
Right.
As far as farming and stuff like that, like I do understand if you got a business or something like that, but I mean, going back to the basics, like being a farmer, things of that sort, that's real true in inheritance. Like it's a show on Hulu. It's called Queen Sugar. You ever heard about that show?
Queen Sugar?
Yeah, Queen Sugar. It's a predominantly black, TV show about. I actually like this show. It's about 3 or 4 children. They all come together around the time their father, ends up dying. Right. And the father, he lives in the country. They live all types of different states, stuff like that. And when he ends up dying, he leaves the farm to all the children in hopes that they will come together and work together to keep the farmland afloat as he's dead and gone. And it's really good because I've never seen a show like that because it really gets into the agriculture, the inheritance, the family business, and things of that sort. And it's really really good show so far. Yes, it's really nice though. And I also to teach the kids how to properly till this land. Okay, really work this land and figure out the economics. And what's that thing you got when you got to show your crops and stuff?
So you got to show.
It's like a certain time where you show your crops. Like you show what you're producing to the people.
I mean, what you have produced, or
stuff like that. Yeah. Like if you want to sell some of your produce to the markets and stuff like that.
You mean like harvest time?
Yeah, harvest time. Yeah, harvest time. It shows all that, man. Like it's really a good show. It just reminds me of the scriptures. You know what I mean? But yeah, we go ahead, keep going.
Verse 3. And he went on his journey from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai.
Okay, keep going.
Verse 4. Unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord.
Keep going.
Verse 5. And Lot also went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents.
So look, they brought the whole goddamn house with them, the whole, all their belongings. See what I'm saying? They brought the tents, the herds, and the flocks. Even Lot had, possessions of his own as well. See what I'm saying? Keep going.
Verse 6. And the land was not able to bear them.
Right. Now, this is going to tie into brotherhood very shortly. Now, understand that Abraham and Lot are uncle and nephew. Okay?
Right.
Keep going.
That they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together.
Right. Because they had so much, they both had so much, they could not dwell in the same place. For example, not everybody can stay in the same city. You might have to go to a different city. Everybody can't stay on the same block. You might, or the same house. You might got to go next door.
Right.
Imagine that. All right. You can't. We all can't be in the same space right now. We are going to have to divide this up. Okay.
Right.
Keep going. Go ahead.
And both of these were righteous men too. Just like even Paul and Barnabas had to go separate ways at one point. And that right there, sometimes you got to be further apart in order to be together.
That's right. That's right.
This is a wise thing, and the Most High calls their Lot and Abraham's cattle to, the Most High did this on purpose.
Absolutely.
To split up the two.
Absolutely.
He did that on purpose. He caused both of them. He blessed both of them.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? He blessed both of them so much where they had so much cattle that they start to grow and grow and grow to where they cattle, the cattlemen, is beefing with each other. What the Lord's saying is separate the forces.
Yep. And that's exactly what it's going to get into, and that's right. And you're right about that. Actually, did show. Most High did show this for a purpose, for a reason. All right, keep going.
And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. Verse 7. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abraham's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. Right.
So the herdmen's cattle, they were beefing. They was not having it. All right, keep going.
And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled then in the land.
We know what the Canaanite is. The Perizzite. What is the Perizzite?
They Canaanites also. They call them different stocks. Like you got the Sinites, the Archites, and all of them.
Yeah.
All of them are Canaanites. They're just called by the name of the father, just like the Hittites. They're Canaanites too. They're the children of Heth. They carry his name.
Right, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That's right.
The Perizzites were one of the, less significant, other just like the Archites and the Sinites, but they were still powerful though.
Yeah.
But they weren't powerful like, the later,
right.
The latter ones, like the Amorites and the Hittites and all of them,
No, you are right about that. Keep going.
And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen.
Right.
For we be brethren.
That's right.
Verse 9. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee.
Right.
From me.
See, no, you're right. And that was Abraham speaking to Lot, right?
Right.
Like Abraham being a wise man. Also, too, I love that term when it says that Abraham is a friend of the Most High. Like that's very deep, if you ask me. That's very deep. And because of that, with his wisdom that he gained from the Most High, he gave, what is it called? He pretty much had a solution to this whole problem,
right.
Which was we should separate and we should take on different parts of this area.
Right.
Go ahead.
Divide it up. You know what I'm saying?
Divide it up.
Right. And you know who else took a page out of this book right here?
Who?
The mob.
The mob. Yeah.
But Luciano took a page out of this because remember, all the gangsters were slaughtering the hell out of each other at first. That's why he formed the commission. You know, and in their twisted version, Roman version of Brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? You know, and everybody had their own portion. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was divided, but together. Because at first, without that, they would have been knocking each other's heads in, just like what Abraham and Lot's servants would have done. They would have went to war.
Right. Yeah. Over nothing. Though.
Right.
Over nothing.
Yeah. You know, there would have been a lot of blood, unnecessary bloodshed.
Yeah.
That's why Lucky Luciano set up the commission. You know, and united all of them by dividing them, and everybody has their own land, their own portion, their own rackets. And you know, anybody that violated that would have to be dealt with. So nobody divided, nobody invaded one another's space. Everybody had their own territory. Right. They took a page out of this book right here.
And you're right about that. I mean, it's like I would say a lot of people took a page out of that book.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But no, that is Rome. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Rome took it. You know, when you go, that was real wisely the way that they operate. The Romans, in inverse to how the Greeks were operating. Yeah. You know, it were good. The Romans set up the council, and what they would do is they would pick, a president, a representative for that year. And the next year would be somebody else. Next year, somebody else. Next year, somebody else. They would go around like that, where everybody had their turn to be a leader. All of them was bosses. So there was no envy and strife over who's going to be the leader and all of that stuff. No, you know what I'm saying, challenging one another. Yeah. All of that stuff was out the table because they knew this would wipe them the hell out. Especially on their come up, you know what I'm saying? Because they wanted to conquer over Greece, the Grecians. They wanted to conquer them. Without that, they would have never conquered the Grecians. Right.
And that's very true, man. Like, I mean, it's crazy because, I mean, when you really study all the history behind, all these empires, they plagiarize. I mean, they got everything from us, and it's crazy because a lot of people don't realize that. No one really realized how America is set up. Like till this day, how America is set up is how they're trying to like they're trying to play God. In a sense, they're trying to come off of our records.
Right.
Like, Shaka, what I found in the Bible, right, is how the judging system is, the court system. I didn't know that was in the Bible. I didn't think nothing of it until it was broken down to me. And then when you think about, let me see, what else? Oh, like, for example, right, I'll give you a good example. A lot of people may or may not understand this. So everyone knows that reincarnation or resurrection is real, right? Yeah. Now, what happens in the court system when you get sentenced? Give me an example of how you see reincarnation. Give me an example. How you see example of reincarnation when you get sentenced.
When you get sentenced?
I want to use the same example that Jenna Hyman said, a double sentence.
Oh, talk about a double sentence. Okay.
Yeah, so like for example, like let's say a man is 40 years old and you give him a double sentence, like, more than, I mean, because a lot of people don't survive at a certain age in jail, right? But how he explained it, it was so crazy and mind blowing to where he was like, when they give you double sentences, things of that sort, it's like they know that you're going to come back here when you die. And he was using that as a form of reincarnation. And then he started going into the, he just started going into how they sentence you and how they charge you and things of that sort. He was just showing everything in the Bible. And I just found that very interesting because I never thought of it that deep. Right. You know what I mean? But like a double or triple sentence, like, why would they give you that much time when they pretty much should know, like, this man is very old, this woman is very old. She's like 90 something.
They do it like that. They do like double sentences in the court system.
Yeah, but I used to always ask questions like, why do they do that when I don't think they're really going to serve all that time because they might be dead by the next 10 years. But it lets you know that the court system knows, like, look, niggas are always going to come back here.
Right.
So it's like, damn, like that, it's kind of spiritual, but it's kind of like, damn, like it's crazy when you think about it,
They
right?
know they use the Bible when it comes to
And that's what messed me up about it when General Muhammad broke it down. I was like, I